This guy looks a little shady. We better lock up the shop. So Mason just got here. I haven't seen him in a little while. Actually, since he spray foamed the house and already given them a hard time. We're picking up right where we left off. So what we're going to be doing today is putting in closed cell spray foam. We got Mason here from Premier Insulation Plus, right? So this is the third time Mason has been at Piney Grove. He did my mega shed with closed cell, and you did our new house build here with open cell, and that was like 6 inches or so. Did you do?
On the roof, 6 inches, 3.5 in the wall.
Okay, so yeah, 6 inches roof, 3.5 in the wall because it's 2x4 construction. This is Deb's red barn, or we call it the red barn. It's Deb's barn, and that's an east wall, as you can see by the sun coming up. And that gets really, really hot, like hot to the touch. It'll burn your hands. So he's going to put me 2 inches of closed cell on that wall. And let's go in my dad's shop. He's passed away, but we built this shop for him, and we're converting it into our shop now, and we'll show you what we're going to do in here. So I got in here yesterday and cleaned most of the stuff up. These cabinets here are all cabinets from Hurricane Michael and people redoing their kitchen, so I've got them in here for my shop. But we're just going to do that east wall there. You can see Mason is backlit by the sun. You look good, by the way, buddy. You look really good. And we're going to do 2 inches here on these 2x6 walls. And this is a south wall, and that gets pretty hot too. We're going to do 2 inches there. And I just want like a light coating on the roof, or the ceiling, I guess, so the dust doesn't come down from the attic. So what do you think, 1 inch? Yeah, it's not really for our value as much as to seal the dust out, coming in between the cracks of the plywood up there. We'll get into the price and some other things about spray foam later, but right now we're getting set up, and we'll capture the process. Mason and I have been talking about deer hunting here for the last hour or so, but the guys are in here covering everything with plastic and getting it ready for spray foam. And they put up a little curtain here because they're not doing that wall, they're just doing this wall here, but they also have to do the ceiling. But what we want to do is not get spray foam on any of this cabinetry, because eventually I want to paint these cabinets, and they're going to be part of my workshop cabinets. So Mason was telling me about his rig here. He's got a brand new rig because he was at an intersection and someone ran into him and they totaled out his trailer. So he's got a 40,000 kilowatt or 40,000 watts, so 40 kilowatt generator, diesel generator in there. And he said with one filling of diesel, he can run all week off of that. So that's a significant upgrade from the last time he was here, because last time he was here, he had like a portable generator. And his trailer is like 4 foot longer, so he's got a lot more space in here to work. Some LED lighting. Got his 2-part mixture for the closed cell foam, which is different from the open cell foam that uses different product. And there's a spray rig that heats up the mixture and puts it out in the right ratio. So they're double checking, make sure everyone's on the same page here, because we're going to be doing that south exposure wall and then this little knee wall over here as well. And we got lots of airflow in here between the open wire up top there on that tall wall, and then we put wire over here on this wall as well. So we got plenty of ventilation for the animals in here. And in addition, we've got, we're pre-wired for 2 ceiling fans down the center. So we want to get lots of airflow in here between the way we've designed it and also the fans that will be going up soon. So Mason here is not a fan of my Surrender fire ant killer. So what I'm doing is I'm spreading a little bit of this along the sill plate, and so they'll spray foam on top of it, and that way kind of keep the ants from coming in up underneath the sill plate. But it smells like rotten eggs. I guess I'm used to it because...
You can't work in these conditions.
What's that?
You can't work in these conditions.
I think he just added 10% to the bill. So I'm going to put this there as a deterrent, and it'll just get locked in with the spray foam. I'm not an exterminator. I don't know if it'll work, but we're going to do it. Okay, Mason said he's not going in there, that ant powder is too much for him. He can't handle the odor, but the guys are getting ready to spray, so let's go in here and catch them. Hopefully they haven't started yet.
I was about to throw up.
Ricardo, the guy behind me that's all suited up, he spray foamed our house out here, Piney Grove, with the open cell. So I saw him like just walking through the rafters and everything. I mean, no walk boards, just like holding on with one hand and spraying. So he's pretty agile. We're gonna start up here. Just got a little bit of a wall to do there, and then once he gets that west-facing wall done, he can pull this plastic down so he can get some airflow. You can feel the heat coming off of it, and he has a little tool to make sure that he does 2 inches that he shoves in there. That's a nice even job that he did. So this was their test pattern, and they didn't have the heat up high enough. So he cranked up the heat, but we're still getting a hard texture on it. Once you turn the heat up on the phone, you'll get the hard coating quicker. He's done a 1 inch here on the ceiling. And that's just to keep the dust down. So no, we're not looking for a big R value up there. We just don't want dust to come in like here in between the plywood that's up there on the deck. So let's say you're doing this job for $4,000 because it's closed cell. What would it be if it was open cell? Just roughly. We're not asking for, you know, down to the penny.
Oh man, maybe 2,000, 2,500.
About half then. Yeah. So it's about double for closed cell.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good information because everybody, you know, has tight budgets and they only have so much money, right? Yeah. So in this application here, would open cell have worked?
Yeah, it would have worked. I mean, they're both really good chemicals, and they both work. It's just the closed cell has the better properties. It's the better.
Yeah, I like the structure of it and the fact that it has a hard skin, and that way, if I don't sheathe the inside of the room here, that I've got a hard skin, whereas the soft, the open cell is more soft. Like you can puncture it a little bit. Yep. So, good information, man. Yes, so this is the first one that he sprayed, and that's rock hard now. And over here, he just sprayed this. He's cleaning the nozzle. And this is still warm. It's got a skin on it though. And then this is his tool, and that tells him how deep the foam is. So that's a 1 inch there for the ceiling. But what he does is he just pushes that in the foam, and then he'll hit the metal of the building if this was 2 inch, and that would tell him that he has the right amount. Out here in the country, we were surprised at how often our power goes out. It's simply not as reliable as we thought it was. But couple that with the fact that we live in North Florida and we're susceptible to tropical storms and hurricanes that can take our power out for up to 2 weeks at a time, we needed a reliable power source. Battery generators have been out for several years, but we were waiting for the technology to mature, and we think we've got the perfect solution in this Jackery 3600 generator. The Jackery HomePower 3600 Plus is designed specifically for modern households of 3 to 6 people, combining power, safety, and portability in one complete home backup package. At 77 pounds, it is the world's lightest and smallest 3600 watt LFP power station. Jackery made this product simple to use with no prior experience. Within minutes of removing it from the box, we were able to use it to power up a circular saw and cut a 2x4 with no effort. The real test came when we powered a table saw while we easily ripped down a 2x10 pine board. It also easily powered a portable air compressor to air up the tires on our Kubota tractor and provided a cool breeze for our livestock in our barn. The 3600 Plus can also function as an uninterrupted power supply. When connected to AC input, it powers devices through grid electricity, and in the event of a sudden outage, it automatically switches to battery mode within 10 milliseconds. To recharge the 3600 Plus, you simply plug it into a 100 to 120 volt power source, and in 2.5 hours it is fully recharged and is easily expanded to 21 kilowatt hours by adding additional battery packs. There's also a 500 watt solar panel available for off-grid use. Jackery built these units to withstand 6,000 plus cycles, delivering over 10 years of durability. This is a long-term investment, engineered to last 10 plus years, not just an emergency gadget. Even with daily use, the battery still retains 70% capacity after 10 years. It comes with a 3-year standard warranty with a 2-year extension, far above industry standards for long-term peace of mind. We're excited to have this backup power option to support all the projects and essential systems used on our farm. For a limited time, you can get Jackery's lowest price of 2025, a whopping 65% discount during Prime Deal Days, October 7th through 8th, 2025. See the links in the description below. They've taken down the plastic, so let's go in here and see how much they got done. And so they're scraping off the excess foam off of the 2x6s, get them ready in case I want to OSB that. But we are foamed in here a pretty good ways. So this section is 12 foot wide by 32 long, and they've got this section done. And that'll be a workshop and storage. And then this section is 12 by 12, so they got to do the ceiling and the east facing wall, and that's going to be grain and food and medicine and everything for the animals in the barn. So they don't have much left in here, and then the easy part will be the big bay of the red barn. So what he's doing with that tool is he's getting this right here off. So we've got some foam that just kind of oversprays here, and he's got this tool right here that looks like this, and then he just scrapes that off. There you go. It comes out clean. I saw the hose moving, so I better get in gear. These big walls always look impressive, and if you're doing like thick foam on there where it totally fills out the bay and maybe overfills the bay, then they come in with these shavers. And then the open cell foam in the new house build, they had like this long knife on the end of a reciprocating saw. I bet it was a 3-foot blade or so, and they shaved that off, and so that the studs were exposed so they could put drywall on. But on this foam here, they used big scraper blades the last time when they did the mega shed, because that's framed in metal. But they won't have to do that here. Maybe a little bit of scraping on the outer edges of the 2x4s like the 2x6s inside, but for the most part there won't be a lot of cleanup here. So we got 8-foot tall 2x4s here, and I don't think these are studs. I think these are truly 8 foot. So we're like 8 foot 6 inches or so total from sill plate to that top board, or top plate I guess it's called. And he's going to spray foam all this, but there is absolutely no chance that this will ever be heated or cooled. So that's simply for solar loading, to keep that rising sun in the east from baking this wall, because the stalls for the animals will go here. So we have 32 feet-ish of room left here, or 36 feet of room, and we have 30 feet of stalls that are going to go here. So 3 10-foot stalls. And because of this spray foam, it won't get as hot in here for the animals. So he sprays up about to his head level, then he checks the depth, because we want 2 inches there. In any place where it's a little thin, he'll throw a little bit more on there. And it's spraying a lot better now than it did initially, because they got their heat right. And it looks like all that ant powder that I put down there is actually getting blown away. Right there, I saw it kind of get blown away, but Maybe some of it's there on the foam. Well, we heard the other guy whistling, so I think they got to change tanks, but he got, there's a 12-foot bay there, so he got the better part of that done. And over here, he started going horizontal. So you can see when he goes horizontal that it kind of drips down, kind of like teardrops or water drops or something. And then here he went vertical, and it gave it more of a smooth look because his passes are longer, and here they're shorter. It's just back and forth, and here it's up and down like 3 foot. So that's going to brighten it up in here a little bit, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to get behind the stalls and put OSB there, but what I'd like to do is sheathe that and then paint it white just to give another layer of solar loading protection. We got to get these stalls built because as soon as the stalls are built, Chief is coming, and Chief is the name of the new So we're going to do an unofficial check here inside the mega shed, and we're going to point it at the wall that's facing the south, and we got 98.4. It's a little dark in here, so let's go outside and check the outside of the shed, and then we'll go over to the barn that we spray foamed today. All right, the sun is out from behind the clouds here, so we'll see what our solar loading is here on the shed, and I'll go to the same spot that I did earlier inside. That'll be right about here, so let's see what it says outside. So it says 128, and it was 98 inside. So that's a significant difference, and some of that's going to be because that closed cell that Mason did for me a couple years ago is actually kind of reflecting that heat back out this way. Let's go over here to where there is no foam at all. So this is western exposure here. There's no foam on this wall. Let's see what we get. 102. So that's a little cooler than 128, but it's a lot hotter, or it's a little bit hotter than 98, which is the temperature of the foam inside of the building. All right, let's go over to what they did today. So this is the red building. The sun is behind the clouds a little bit there, but it won't change the temperature that much because it's been beating on it all day. So we'll come up here, there's the window, and we'll say it is 120.5 on the outside. Now we'll go inside. There's that same window right there. And we'll try it, we'll clear it, and now we'll try it. And it says it's hold on, let's give it a chance to settle. Let's be fair. All right, there we go. What does that say? 98, 97. About 97. We'll try it again, just to be fair. That's pretty thick foam right there. That's thicker than 2 inches. 97. We'll come over to this side of the one. Let's go behind here. It's probably thin behind that cable. 97, well, not right there. It's a little bit warmer where it's not as thin behind that cable. But then you come over to here where it's thicker. 97. So it's very unofficial, but it does show you the significant impact that spray foam can make on the interior of your building. All right, we'll do this one. This one's not in the sun anymore. It's in the shade. So We got 96.6 inside. So on that big wall that's no longer in the sun, we got 96.6. It's about 1 p.m. So we'll go right here. 106. So that's quite a bit of temperature difference, and it'll over time just make a big difference in there, especially if like you run a fan in there, or maybe I get a little mini split or portable air conditioner, just maybe to knock the edge off if you're going to be in there for a while. So they may be doing some woodworking or something. So there's unofficial results, but that's why we spray foam out here at Piney Grove, is because even that 8 to 10 degree difference makes a difference. Well, they've been doing the work all day, so it's about time you chipped in.
I'm fresh.
All right, guys, they're all done. Mason and his crew just left. Deb has come by here and inspected and approved. Said she immediately felt the heat difference, or the coolness difference, or temperature difference. But we'll show you the final product now. 1 inch up there, 2 inches along the side, and it is whitish now, but it's gonna turn yellow. And Mason showed me a picture of one he did a few weeks ago, and it was very white. And he said that some people elect to have it painted, but we don't care that much. It brightens it up when it's white. Like, it's brighter in here now. It feels more bright than the tin that you used to be able to see. But when it turns yellow, it doesn't look that bad. And we're not gonna be spending a lot of time in here anyway. But now it's ready. I got to, probably gonna OSB that wall and build shelves, and then I got some metal shelves for here, and I got the whole trailer load of things that I took out of here that I have to put back. Then out here in the main barn area, 36 feet here, came out real good. Nice and even, and once they scrape it off the wood, it just looks neat, looks professional. And then we'll go up the stairs and show you that. As far as any kind of overspray or anything on the boards or the studs, they clean all that off. They clean up anything that that's obvious. But that is it. It looks incredible. As far as price, I asked Mason, I said, is there something I can tell the viewers where they can figure out their square footage and they can get, you know, a rough estimate, just something to compare it to. Maybe it's more expensive in your region than my region. And he said it goes by the board foot, because spray foam is about thickness. So it's not just square foot. Each board foot would be 1 inch of foam. And if you do 2 inches of foam, then that area would be 2 board feet. And if you do 3 inches of foam, then that area would be 3 board feet. So he didn't have a way where you could just translate square footage for closed cell spray foam. But basically this job was just under $4,000. So what you've seen them do here, come in, prep it, tape everything off. They had to move a little bit of stuff out of the way, spray it with 2 inches and 1 inch in the ceiling of the shop, and clean up afterwards. That was just under $4,000. So if you're wondering, you know, what spray foam cost, or what this job in particular cost. But that'll wrap up today's video. We sure appreciate you guys watching and coming back week after week and checking out what we're doing out here at Piney Grove. But if you're interested in Mason coming to you and spray foaming your building, I'll let him tell you at the end of this video how to get in touch with him. But until next time, y'all take care out there, and remember, life's short, tractor hard, and check out these 2 videos right here. They're pretty cool too.
Premier Installation Plus. Phone number is 850-703-7381.
Such a stud.